everybody, this is Maria with SweetSerenityStamping.com, and today I have for you something a little different. Other than my boxes that I usually bring to you every week, I decided to make a card this week, and I think this turned out fabulous. Isn't that cute? I knew I wanted to make a wreath, but I didn't know what kind of wreath I really wanted to make. This just kind of popped into my head, and I thought, I haven't used my Petite petal punch in a really long time. That's usually something I would use during the summer when it's, you know, the pretty flowers are coming out and stuff, but I thought, let's try the Petite petals and make it into a wreath. So if I bring this in a little bit so you can see it, you can see these are the little Petite petal stamp set that I have with the coordinating Petite petal punch. I think this came out really, really good. I'm pleased with what I came up with. And so with this card here, like I said, different for me, it's a card. Thought I'd bring you a card for Christmas. I went ahead and I used a couple different sets. So let me go ahead and show you the sets that I used. This is, as I said, the Petite Petals. Okay, and it's a beautiful little flower. Isn't that cute? Now I used this one here on the first project, and today I'm going to be using this one here. So love the Petite Petals. You can also get a coordinating punch that goes with that, which will save you so much time if you get the punch. I mean, instead of fussy cutting around these little petite petal flowers, you have this punch, and it's fabulous. So I would recommend to get both of these if you are going to purchase anything. Like this stamp set here, this is a must. You know, Stampin' Up! Makes it easy for us, and this is one of the things you definitely need if you're going to look at making a card like this. Great little punch. See that? Yeah, it took me like a total of 5 minutes to do all this. So, very, very easy. So today, for this card here, I use the Mossy Meadow. This is on a Whisper White card, and this is the standard 5.5 by 4 1/4. This is a regular standard, I think they call them an A2 card. So it's just a regular card. Like I said, I don't do too many cards, but this one I thought I'd share with you because it was really pretty. So that's how I did the wreath itself. Now if you can tell real close, there's some pearls. Do you see the pearls right here? I've got a pearl on every one of these, and I just think that makes it much more festive. I'm going to try to do it with rhinestones today to give you something a little bit different. This ribbon here is the Real Red woven satin ribbon. I just think this is beautiful. This is 3/8 of an inch, and that is how I got my bow that I made. And like I said, this is the Mossy Meadow ink, and I also used this stamp set here, which is from the Wondrous Wreath stamp set. And this is becoming one of my favorites. I did a project with you, I think it was a couple, my last 2 videos, I think the previous 2, I used this one and I made a spinner box. This is the same stamp set, except for the only thing I used was, it looks crooked, was the sentiments on here. I used both of those. So you need the Wondrous Wreath stamp set to do what I have done right here. So in the front here it says Happy Wonderful Christmas, and in the inside you open this up like this, and then the inside says, may happy moments and cherished memories surround you with joy this season. I just love that phrase. I think this card is so cute. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to be using a few little different things today to show you. So for the base of your card, you are going to need an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of Whisper White. Now as you can see, I already went ahead and I cut out my circles. Okay, now let me go ahead and show you. On the 8.5 inch score mark, you just want to cut this in half, which is 4 1/4. That's all you have to do. So 8.5 by 5.5, and you score at the 4 1/4 inch line, and you just fold it in half, okay, and get your bone folder and give it a crease. So what I had done is I used my circle framelits, and I've showed you these several times before. This is the number 6 framelit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I showed you how to do the framelits from the from number 1 all the way up to, I think there's 9 or 10 in here. This is the number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6. I went ahead and placed this on my piece of paper, kind of center it, and I ran it through my Big Shot, and that's how I got the hole in this card. So now that we have this right here, what I am going to do is I'm going to just, this is one I had already done. I had taken, this is the Garden Green, and here is that one I am using today, that pretty Petite Petal stamp. And I'm going to show you what I had done. So I went ahead and stamped this on Whisper White with the Garden Green ink, and then I took my Petite Petals punch, and this is what I mean by saving us times. Instead of having to cut this around with scissors, get this punch. You won't be sorry. You just take the punch and you kind of line it up, and then you just give it a punch, and voila, oh, one's already done. I mean, it's that easy. So I went ahead and I made, you can use 12 to 14. I ended up using 14 because I liked mine a little bit fuller. You can probably get away with using 12. That would be fine. I went ahead and I took this little Petite Petal, and I took my piercing tool, and I used the back of this piercing tool, and I just pressed it with the middle of my finger like this, and I gave it a little bit of an indentation. Okay, so you can see that. See, now it's got that little, it's an indentation now, so it's kind of popped up a little bit. Now, if you have a piercing tool, or you can use the piercing tool and you can use a computer, one of those computer pads that you can use that. It might be a little bit easier to do this kind of a thing if you have something like a pad underneath it, and you can press right on the pad and go in with it and give it that little curvature. I just did it with my hands. I don't have a pad. I don't have the pad from Stampin' Up, and I didn't have a mouse pad, so I'm like, I could do this with my finger, and I did. So I just did that, and I took a dimensional, a really little bitty tiny dimensional, you don't need a big one, and I put this dimensional in the middle of the flower and pressed on it, and I'm going to go ahead and just take the backing off, okay? But I have all my flowers in front of me, and I'm just going to set this aside for just a second because I want to get to our stamping. So like I said, I'm going to use the same stamp set. Okay, I'm going to use the same one. So I want to put this in the middle, and I'm going to do that first. I found out it was a little bit easier for me to do it first. I just lay something against here so this doesn't pop up on me. So I'm going to take the Garden Green, as I did with the same stamping with my Petite Petals, and I'm going to give this a stamp. Go ahead and get this all stamped up in that Garden Green. I always look at it to see and make sure that I have it all done, and it looks really good. And I love these polymer stamps. So just go ahead without, see, I do this every time. Ugh, I always stick myself into something of my ink. I have more ink on my hands when I stamp, but hey, who cares? I'm having fun. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to stamp this, and hopefully I won't get my head in the way. I'm going to try to stamp this as center as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a handmade card. And there you go. I love that, love that sentiment. So now, as long as I have my ink going, I'm going to go ahead and put the sentiment here on the bottom. So let me get that one here. And I'm going to put it on my acrylic block. And I always like to kind of center it on my acrylic block to make sure that you can see this. Okay? And that's what it looks like here. Okay, now I can see that's just a tiny bit uneven, so I'm just going to push it up just the slightest bit, just so I can make sure that that comes out even. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this all stamped up, get it all inked up with my ink. Okay, I can see it needs a little bit more right here. And make sure you get this pretty, I guess I can move this in so you can see what I'm doing. I just kind of tap, 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 so that I make sure that it's all nice and inked up. And I kind of measure, I don't really measure, but I kind of eyeball the middle of this. And kind of eyeball the middle of this, and I do it the best I can to get it pretty centered. Sometimes it always doesn't come out centered, but like I said, it's a handmade card. And there you go. I didn't do that bad. It looks pretty good. So that's all we really have to do for the stamping. We just stamped our flowers, and now we stamped this part here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get my ribbon. And I already previously went ahead and made the same color, real red ribbon. And I'm going to put some, let me get my little mini dots, my mini glue dots. Okay, and I want to put some on the back of this flower. The mini glue dots seem to hold the ribbon very well. So I'm just going to put one maybe in the center. Okay, and a couple on the outside. One here and maybe one. And this, see how sticky? It's really sticky. So they hold fairly well. And put this one here. Okay, and this I'm going to place, let's see, right on top of here. I like to do this first so I can get this part out of the way. Okay, there we go. So that's my bow, and now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to place my flowers all the way around. Now, like I said, I already did these. They're already backed with the dimensional. I'm just going to lay them. I put one underneath here. I start right here. Okay, and then I move over here. I like to put some underneath the bow. Just so that it gets covered, the card fully gets covered with these little petals. So that's what I like to do. I like to go ahead and do that first. So now I know I got a little bit of it covered. Can you see? Because it needs to go underneath the bow too, just as well. So you just keep placing these around, and I kind of overlap them a little bit. Okay, and I got another one here, and I kind of want to overlap it just a little bit. So all you do is you keep going around the circle. Okay, and I know this is probably boring you to watch me do this because it's like probably nothing more boring than watching me go around in a circle with some flowers. But let me try to get this done as fast as I can. Okay, now I didn't quite overlap it right on the last one, but it's okay. They don't have to be too overlapped. You just kind of want to make the form of the circle. You'll get the form of the wreath. I'll put a couple more in here. And of course I'm doing this with my left hand. I'm not very good with my left hand. And of course this one here, I thought I cut out 14. However, I may have cut out 13, so I am one short. So let's go ahead and do one more quick little stamp so I can get the whole thing in there, because I don't want to leave the last one out. That wouldn't be a really good idea to do that. So I'm going to get my block, okay? I'm going to do this, and get me a piece of paper, because I don't have any more paper. This is just another scrap piece of Whisper White. And we're going to lay that on there. Okay, and then let's close this up because I have a bad habit of getting my fingers stuck in the ink. And let's go ahead and do one more. And we're going to cut this out with our punch. See, so I thought I had it, and I could have had them all ready to go. The one thing I may have put them a little bit closer. And I may have got 15 on here now instead of 14, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead, and I'm just scrambling around to get my scissors so I can cut my little tiny piece of dimensional off there, so I can put that on the back like so. And like I said, you can put this in your hand and give this a little bit of squishing. You can put your dimensionals on first if you want to. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I got a little bit of dimension to that. Pull off the backing. So you guys just wanted to see me do one more, didn't you? And we're just going to pop this underneath here. So if this happens to you, where you get them a little bit more, actually that's really came out pretty. Look, and I actually got them really symmetrical. Yay for me. So if you run out, make you one more. Not a huge deal. So basically, this is all it is to this card. So see how simple that was? And look How pretty that came out. Now, there's one more thing that I want to do, and that is to put, instead of putting some pearls like I did in the other one, I want to go ahead and I want to put some of these rhinestones, okay, on top of, now don't forget the little one here that goes underneath your bow. You got to make sure you get those too. Get that one there, because he's hiding. So I'm going to go ahead, instead of doing pearls, I'm going to go ahead and do the rhinestones. So bear with me. I probably will go ahead and see if I can't fast forward through this part so y'all don't snore why I'm doing this. But I wanted to give this one a little bit different dimension than that one. I just wanted to see what it looks like, and I think I'm starting to love this part. I think I really like it with the rhinestones instead of the pearls. So, like I said, it's a little bit time consuming to do this, but basically that's all you do. Put one underneath here because that one's hiding. One under here, on there. See if we can pick this up a little bit faster so y'all don't sit here and watch me do all these here. Turn that over. So can you see the way this is looking? I think this is looking fabulous. Okay, got a couple more that I need to do. Yeah, and it's really easy. Oops, that one got away from me. Come on over here, and it's stuck to my flower. Come on. Okay, let's get that one out from underneath my finger and put that right here where it belongs. Oh, this is really pretty. Guys, I hope you get a chance to make one of these. I am so going to give these two cards away. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I have to give them away to somebody. Look how the pearls look. Can you see that? Oh, not the pearls, the rhinestones. These are rhinestones. Oh, I love it. So, anyways, that's enough of my time with you because I don't want to sit here and bore you, but that's basically all we have on these cards. Isn't it? They turned out beautiful. So I hope you all give this a try. Thank you so much for visiting with me today to let me show you this project. If you would do me a great big favor, go to my blog, which is sweetserenitiestamping.com, and on the right hand side there's a button that says join this site. If you would put your email there and just click that button, you can follow me with all of my up and coming projects. Below this video will be a supply list of all the supplies you need to make these beautiful cards. You can just click on one of those and it'll take you right to my shop. And if you go to the top of my blog and hit the shop button, you can also shop from there. So I make it very easy for you guys to get all your beautiful supplies to make these wonderful cards. So thank you so much for joining me today. Hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye, everybody.